elected, you mentioned funding police training. Where will you draw those funds from? Oregonians pay enough taxes. Well, I couldn't agree that Oregonians pay enough taxes, but I'll go even farther than that. Oregonians pay too much in taxes. And we know this because we keep over collecting to the tune of $2 and $3 billion every couple of years. And some of that money comes back to people in the form of the kicker. And my point is we're over collecting to the tunes of billions, and I'm going to say it again, billions. Something's wrong. It means we're not doing something well in government. So one of the things I will guarantee is I will stop underestimating what we believe the economy will generate or what our collections will be in various forms of revenue. I'm going to tell the truth. And what will happen is $3 billion will appear for the budget at the front of the budget cycle, not in the middle or the end like we experience now. And then if we undercollect, that's one thing, okay? Because the burden should be on the government to get it right. And then it would be the government that would have to shift things to balance the budget, not the taxpayer. The goal is that we hit it just right and that we don't have huge kickers going back to people because we're not over collecting. So that's my goal. Oh, and in terms of funding the police, by the way, I got to make sure I answer that part of the question. We can reappropriate money from Oregon Health Authority because my plan is to cross-train all deputies so that they can intake people who maybe have a mental illness or violating the law or are living in a homeless situation and addicted to drugs and making a mess of things. Folks like that, we have to have some data on them. And so we need to allow deputies to say, this one's an incarceration because they, vandalized a car or destroyed property. But this person, we think, might have a drug addiction or is mentally ill and needs some support and services. And so we want the deputies to be able to say this way versus that way. It kind of fits with the spirit of Measure 110, in which we're trying to decriminalize things. We don't have to prosecute and incarcerate everybody who's in need, but we do want to give people choices. And one of the ways to speed up the process is to allow deputies to have kind of like a social worker cross-training so that they can say, based on my training, this pathway would be better for this person so they can get some homeless support services. And we can treat all of their indices. They have a drug addiction, maybe some mental illness, and maybe some PTSD. Maybe they're a veteran, combat veteran who's struggling and needs support. And then we can get them connected to services that way without sending them to jail or disparaging their reputation or record. So.